Hello, everybody, and welcome to the halftime show with the score. The Ravens 13, the Browns 10. How's everybody doing? I hope you're enjoying this blockbuster game. I don't know about you, but I'm jumping out of my seat. I'm actually sitting back with a stopwatch and trying to figure out how long it takes Jacoby Brissett to see the second man in a progression. Be that as it may. Is this going to get worse? Yes. Why? Because it always gets worse. They've stopped defending the run altogether once again. Once they got down to the shadows of the goalpost, one running play where the guy wasn't touched and he walked right into the end zone. They're not playing any better. The first drive, it were scripted plays. That's fine. The primary receivers were open. That's fine. The running game never got off the ground, never will get off the ground. This is a Harbaugh team. They're not going to allow the Browns to run on them. And, of course, you know that Stefanski will give up the run. He'll stop trying even in a close game. We've seen that before. What I can tell you is this, and it's the most obvious part of this thing. There's a couple of things here. Double P before, Prefer needs to be let go. Why did Johnson take the ball out of the end zone? For the same reason that Donovan Peoples-Jones made a diving catch on a 69-yard punt that was over his head and had no arc on it and was going to roll probably into the end zone. Same reason, because there's no special teams on this team. And Dearness Johnson just wanted to return it out of frustration. I have no idea, but the second the ball comes out of the end zone on a kickoff, it's going to be a penalty against the Browns special teams. That's the answer to your question, I hope. The thing that's obvious to me watching this in the first half is that if the primary receiver is not open, it isn't just that it's a slow second progression read. It's a no second progression read. He gets into the pocket, he starts looking around him, and there are men in the middle of the field wide open. He's not keeping his head up. Jacoby Brissett is incapable of quarterbacking in the NFL level, and even you can give him the best team in the world, and it's not like he's played for the worst teams in football. This isn't like Baker Mayfield, who played for the Browns with Freddie Kitchens and then went to the Panthers with Matt Rule. This isn't like that. He's got decent players around him. The fact of the matter is, no matter where he's played, in Indianapolis and Miami, his teams weren't that bad, and his record was bad. Jacoby Brissett is not a competent quarterback, especially when the primary read is taken away from him. That's what I can gather from all of this. Every time announcers are saying the man in the middle was wide open. Even Michael Jackson was talking to the man in the middle. I mean, and then Malcolm in the middle was wide open. So I don't know. And the Pretenders in the middle of the road. I could go on and belabor you. But again, somebody's breaking free, but if the quarterback's head's not up, it's not up. There's lots of, and I'll tell you something else about Hunt. He's being wasted in Cleveland, and they might as well have just let him go. I mean, he's not being used in any meaningful way whatsoever. And, and Jedrick Wills is somewhere in La La Land. I don't know what he's doing, but he's not blocking the man inside or outside. A ridiculous penalty where he had the guy blocked and he just flung him to the ground and grabbed him to throw him to the ground, which is an instant hold every time. It's hard to fathom. They found the blitz. Baltimore found the blitz and started using it. And anything they can do to take away the primary read of Jacoby Brissett, the play is over. There's no chance of it prolonging. And, all of the, who you want to fire, who you don't want to fire, just shut up and watch the game. What can I tell you? You have no authority. You have nothing to say about this. And, you can just point fingers all day long. The organization's a failure. Do you see the Cavs yesterday? That's how you come off a rough loss in your first road game, and then you come onto the road when Levine's coming back for the very first game since he was hurt, and the Chicago crowd was all amped up. They got out to a 10-2 run, and then the Cavaliers won by 32 points and just fucking buried them. You see, there's a difference, because intensity, if you're a good team, and you're seeing this, and I don't even think that the Ravens are that good a team, to be very honest with you, but if you look at the intensity after the first possession, you can see their intensity rising, and you can see the Browns just dropping. At first we were actually stopping the run, but then all of a sudden it was just like, oh no, we're standing around again. And that's pretty much what it is. And I'll tell you another thing. The pass to Duvernay was a great pass, by Jackson. And Emerson's coverage was good. What I don't understand is why Big Mouth John Johnson III is always late coming in. He's just trotting away from the action. I mean, that's a play that was dropped in between JJ and Emerson was positioned exactly the way he's supposed to be positioned. Looking back for the ball was thrown real well, but JJ's got to be up on that man and has to get there sooner. And I just don't understand. The people who the organization seems to, say, it's okay, the veterans, the leaders in the locker room. I mean, they're not making plays. Jacob Phillips has no clue. If you saw the touchdown run by the Gus Edwards, I mean, where was he going? It's just hard to believe that this team is being coached at all. I don't know. I just don't know. But it all has to be shaken up, and that goes from the owner on top and right down to the bottom. And of course, that's not going to happen. So I've accepted the fact that we're going to continue losing. And what will happen in the second half is that they will just stampede us. They've got the run snuffed out. And believe me, Jacoby Brissett isn't going to make them pay in any way. He is no Tim Misney, I'll have you know. So, and it's, again, the thing that's so frustrating for me is not that it's the Browns. The Browns suck, and I could give a shit. It's just that the other team is not that good. This Ravens team is not that good. And, we just make everybody look better than what they are. But it's not that the division is so far ahead of us. It isn't that. It's that the team just doesn't play very hard. You take a look, I will at least go into the box score of this. And Brissett, on paper at 12 of 14 and 165 yards looks pretty good, But, right when you get down, the one thing you couldn't do is take a sack. And he took a sack. I mean, and you're not going to kick a 64-yard field goal, and that's the end of that. Lamar Jackson is only 4 of 7 for 74 yards. 4 of 7. That's it. But look at the rushing. They're at 78 yards rushing. What can I tell you? I mean, they're on their way. I said they would run for 200, and they're on their way halfway to 156 yards. And the Browns rushing the big 17 yards, 1-7, 17 yards. The only receiver is Njoku, the long ball to Cooper, but there's nothing else that's even happening. And there's so many numbskull plays being made. It really pissed me off when, what does Donovan Peoples-Jones think? That he's going to dive backwards? Does he have brain failure already? I mean, And it was so typical that, on a Stefanski challenge, gives him a second punt and the guy booms a 69-yard punt. It's just so typical. I mean, I didn't think he was down. I don't know why Kevin Stefanski, he wanted that extra 6 yards. What a fucking ass clown. What an idiot. And that's what we got. A fucking idiot as our head coach. So the results are the results. So, and it's compounded by players who just decide to go rogue and do what they want to do. And I don't know why. And Dearness Johnson isn't a good kickoff return man to begin with. It's not like he's going to break anything. And of course, that we would get the hold. I don't even know who the hold was on, but maybe Jedrick Wills found his way out on the field on special teams and held somebody. I don't know. But Jedrick Wills looks horrific today. The running game is nowhere. And, what I notice is that the front line is easily penetrated by running plays, but it's the second level that's just horrific. There's nobody there. There's nobody home. When the guy breaks through the first lane, it just keeps going. It's like an interstate highway. Very, very hard to figure out all of this, nor do I really want to figure it out, right? I'm going to be waiting until the Cavaliers come on with their home opener, 7 o'clock tonight, and I'm going to watch that. Because they're going to be playing the Wizards, and that'll be a fun game. This, on the other hand, not a fun game. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoy the second half just as much as I'm going to. Get out your Pepto-Bismol and get ready for the second half. Of course, the Ravens will get the ball, and you know what that means. Touchdown! I'll see you after the game of the post-game show. Thanks for tuning in. Until then, hasta la vista, Pastor Heads, and go Browns.